lecture. Now question is, what is function? What is the mathematical and physical meaning? So if you go around in the real world situation, often you will see the quantities are related to each other by means of the formula or the equations. For instance, the area of the circle. You know that the formula for area of the circle, that is A is equals to pi r square. And similarly, the Ohm's law states that voltage related to the current by means of this equation V is equals to IR. And similarly, power in a DC circuit is given by this formula, where V is the voltage supplied, R is the circuit resistance. And similarly, you can also take example of the amount of salt after T seconds in a tank given by this formula or the equation. A physical meaning of the function, physical formulas or equation which relate to physical quantities. Now note that here in all of these examples, the purpose of the equation is to compute or determine the value of one physical quantity in terms of the other physical quantity. So what is the purpose of a formula A is equals to pi r square? So this formula A is equals to pi r square will provide what? Area. For values of radius r. So we can take the example of this one. A is equals to pi r square, which means we can compute the area of a circle A for different values of r. For example, if you substitute the value of r, the radius is 1. In that case, the area will be simply 1 square root b equals to 1, and you will get a pi. That is the area of the circle. And similarly, if you put here radius is 2, in that case you will get 4 pi. And similarly for 3, the area will be equals to 9 pi. Area is the, we can also call area as a function of the radius in that case. And we can also write the same thing in this way, A is equals to f of r. So these are relations that we discuss gives the physical meaning of the function. These are relations which indicate the functions. So mathematically, how we can write definition of the function? A function is a rule of correspondence. A function is a rule of correspondence between two sets, say x and y. If you suppose the two sets are x and y, then there is a rule of correspondence called function. Now, what this rule states there, which assigns to each element of set x exactly one element of the set y. So now this point is to be noted that this is a rule of correspondence, but what it does, it assigns each element of set x exactly one element of set y. So if you can focus here, there are 2 points. The first point is that each element of set x, and secondly we have is assigned to exactly one element of the set y. So these 2 points are to be noted here to understand the clear definition of the function or the concept of the function. Now furthermore, we in simple words we can also define a function is a formula by which each input value x, there is exactly one output value y. So again we see that there are 2 points. A function is the formula by which each input value x, there is exactly one output value y. So to get it more clear, let us see some diagrams. Let x be a set having the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and similarly y be another set having the elements a, b, c, d. So let us draw the diagrams indicating the correspondence between the two sets, say x and y. And say the first correspondence is indicated by f. So here we have the elements of this set x. for set y, a, b, c, and d. My question to you is that from this definition, I am just focusing again to this definition. A function or formula or a rule of correspondence. Now you must note these 2 points. The rule of correspondence between two sets, say x and y, which assigns to each element of set x exactly one element of set y. So focusing on these 2 points, which I have indicated by 1 and 2, look at the diagrams and tell me which of these 4 diagrams represent the function. So f is a function or not, let us see this. The definition says each element of set x is assigned. So f is not a function. Why? Because the first condition which is given here, or first point that is defined in this definition, which says every element or each element should be assigned. So 4 is not assigned. The 4 is not assigned, so f is not a function. So we can write this in this way, that f is not a function. F is not a function because why? The reason is also defined there, because element 4 in X is not assigned to any element in Y, and that is the reason here. Element 4 in the set X is not assigned to any element in Y. And then is G a function or not? So here the second point, that exactly one output is contradicting in the second correspondence, that is G. Now we see that from 1 we have an assignment to the point B in set Y. So 1 is assigned to B, 2 is also assigned, but 2 is assigned to 2 different elements which are A and B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all elements are assigned. The first thing is clear, but second is not clear here, and that is contradicting. And there is the 2 element from set X, or in set X is assigned to 2 different elements. That's why we say G is not a function. So we write here G is not function. Why? So we can define a reason, because element 2 in X has been assigned 2 different elements in Y. Two different element. So now in this way we can write or discuss or tell about the correspondence of the function or not. Now let us see the third and fourth. Is H a correspondence or not? So now from here we see that 1 is assigned to the point B, B is assigned to the point A, 3 is assigned to the point C, 4 is assigned to the point D. So all the elements in set X are assigned to exactly one element. So therefore H is a function. So we just write H is a function. And similarly, K is also a function, because each element of set X is assigned to exactly one element of set Y. So I hope you have got what is function from this diagram. Now let me discuss the domain and range of these functions. So now suppose that if f is a function, we write this in this way. If f is a function, then if f is a function, then we can write this in this way mathematically. F is a function and read as f is a function from x to y. So now if f is the function, in that case this x is called the domain and this y is called the codomain. So now from here, what is range? So from these diagrams which are functions such as h is a function, then we can write here for h. Since h is a function, we can write this in this way: h is a function from x to y. So now what is domain of h here? We can indicate by d of subscript h. The domain of h is x, and the other set that is y, which is called the codomain. Codomain of h, and that is set y. Now, what is range here? The range is the set which consists only of the output element from the set y. So these all are the output elements here. So we can write the range, or simply R subscript h indicating the function h is equals to y. The range is the same set y in that case. What about the function k? So from here we can see that since k the function, we can write k the function. So since k is the function from x to y, we can write it here in this way. Now the domain of k will be d subscript k, and that will be equals to what? That will be equals to x, and similarly the codomain of this will be y. Now note that in that case the range of k, the range of k will be equals to the set which consists only of the output element, which are here b, element b, and c from the set y. So now from these 2 points, we have also got that there is a difference between the codomain and range. Remember that. And now we can call that codomain is superset, and we can call the range is the subset of the codomain. So range is the subset of the codomain. I hope these points are clear to you. The range is subset of the codomain, and how we can write the domain and how we can write the range if f is a function from x to y. Now furthermore, let us see one example for a function, and then we shall see some of the restriction in the domain of the function. So here we have an example. Remember that we can also write y. If y the function of x, we can also write this in this way: y equals to f of x, by mean of the definition that a function is a formula. So in that case, f of x will be defined by a sum of the formula, and y will depend on the value of x. So we can also read it in this way, that y is the function of x. For example, a formula is given to you, or a function is given to you, that y is equals to x square minus 2x plus 1, and you have to determine the value of the function at the given point, which is x is equals to 0, x is equals to 1, 2, and x is equals to x plus 1. So now let's compute these values. You can also evaluate the values and reply in the meeting chat if you want. So from here, since this function is a formula defined by x square minus 2x plus 1, so we can simply put the values in place of x. So this will be 0 square, and then minus 2 into 0, and then plus 1. Simplify, you will get 1. And for next one, we have to compute the value or determine the value of this function at point 1. So from here, we have to substitute x is equals to 1 square minus 2 into 1, and then plus 1. Simplify, you will get 1 minus 2 and plus 1, and this will give you 0. Similarly, when you substitute at x is equals to 2, then this will be equals to 2 square minus 2 into 2, and then plus 1, and this will give you 4 minus 4 plus 1, and that will be equal to simply 1. Now what about the last one? What about this term f of x plus 1? The similar manner we can simply replace x by x plus 1 here, minus 2 into x by x plus 1 and then plus 1. So this will give you x square plus 2x and then plus 1 and then minus 2x minus 2 plus 1. So now we see that 2x will be cancelled out and 1 plus 1 will be equal to 2 and minus 2 will be again cancelled out, and then you will only get the first term, that is x square. So in this way we can determine or evaluate the values of a function for different values for different inputs which are given to you. Now let us discuss about the restriction in the domain of the function. But before that, I want to put here some note that you must remember. Now note that when you are in calculus, means you are dealing with a function which has the form which has the form of fr to r. So in calculus, you always use such type of function which are functions from r to r. So r is a set of real numbers here. So in which the domain and range both are set of real numbers. And such type of functions are called real value function. And such type of functions are called real value function. So after the 3 months, I am using my digital board. So there is a difficulty in writing. So inshallah, this will be improved in the next lecture. Yes, now remember that there are two types of restriction in domain of the function, because we know that functions are the formula and which are actually used to find out the values, as we've just discussed above. The purpose of the physical this relationship in the form of functions that is here. The purpose of the equation is to compute or determine the value of one physical quantity in terms of the other quantity. This means if functions are formula, then simply mean we have to find out the value of one variable in terms of the other variable. As we did here, we have computed the value of y in terms of x. So while computing the value, there are two restrictions that must be put there, which are known as division by 0 and square root of negative number, because there will be a danger in the domain of the function if we are using these two. So for example, we have f of x is equals to x upon x minus 1. So if I ask you to find out the value of this function f 8.0, which is x upon x minus 1, this will be equals to 0 upon 0 minus 1. You can easily obtain the value, and that will be equals to what? 0. And similarly, if I ask you to find out the value of this function f 8.1, so in that case you will put here 1 upon 1 minus 1, and there will be infinity. Now remember that it is not a number, so you can simply write that is undefined. There is no value. So what happens in calculus, you have to remove the numbers where you have a division by 0. So what we can do for this, we can just put here x minus 1, which is the lower part of the function, x minus 1 to 0, and you simplify, you will get x is equals to 1. So at x is equals to 1, the function will be undefined. So therefore the domain of this function f, we can write simply as domain of this function f will be equals to the real numbers, the set of real numbers minus this element 1, because at point 1 the function will be undefined, so no need to input this in the form of domain. Similarly, the second is the square root of a negative number. So if you take example of the function g, so once again if I ask you to compute the value of this function at point 0 or 8.1, the value of this function g, that you can compute using 1 minus 1, and this will give you square root of 0, and there is 0. But if I ask you to compute the value of this function g 8.0, then what will happen? When you substitute this value and simplify, you will get 0 minus 1, and this will be equals to square root of minus 1, and that is actually equals to iota, which you cannot write in the calculus, so just write here undefined. The function output will be undefined because of the iota, because iota will not be a real number, but it will appear in the complex numbers, and which are not in the calculus. So that's why there are two restrictions. So how we can find domain of this function, how we can put out the values of the function where we can get a square root of a negative number. So we can just simplify in this way that we should not need x minus 1 from this function g. We don't need the x minus 1 which is inside of the square root. This from x minus 1 should not be less than 0, because when it is less than 0 for any value of x, it will give you a iota. And there is an imaginary number, and that does not belong to the real number, and in calculus we deal with the real value function. So now what we need here, that x minus 1 should not be a negative, so we need here x minus 1 should be non-negative numbers, which we can write in this way: x minus 1 should be more than or equals to 0. When you simplify, you will get from here that x is equals to more than or equals to 1. So this means the domain of this function will be equals to what? Domain of this function g will be equals to the real numbers minus this number which are less than 1, or we can also write simply the interval, because we can also write the same thing, x more than or equals to 1, in the form of interval including 1 to infinity. So the domain of this function will be an interval containing the 1 as well, and all the numbers which are larger than 1. So now I give you a question to try out and ask you what is the domain of this function. Yes,